The breaking news of this hour is that MS Now is reporting Donald Trump is expected to nominate the acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche, to serve in the role permanently in the coming days. A senior administration official confirmed to MS Now. Todd Blanche, who was Donald Trump's personal criminal defense lawyer, yesterday said that the Trump slush fund to pay the January 6th attackers of the Capitol, which he created, is now not going to happen. But he has not issued any written document rescinding the written document he issued before to create the slush fund. And at the same time, Todd Blanche says that the separate deal that he personally put in writing, saying that Donald Trump and his family cannot ever be investigated for anything involving their current and past tax returns, will remain in effect. Now, that is obviously an unenforceable, apparently fraudulent deal for Donald Trump, which no future Justice Department would be bound by. He'll be questioned about that in his Senate confirmation hearing, but the question now is, will the Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee enter the conspiracy of silence that Republicans on the Senate Finance Committee created today to protect Todd Blanche and anyone else involved in creation of the Trump slush fund and the Trump immunity from tax crimes possibly committed while president? Let's listen to Senator Sheldon Whitehouse trying to penetrate that with the Treasury Secretary.
I'm unable to discuss most of this because of ongoing litigation.
Yeah, I know everybody likes to say that, but the constitutional...
We like to follow the law, Senator.
And the law is that the Congress has constitutional oversight functions that do not disappear simply because there is litigation, however convenient it may be, by way of providing answers. Was there any consideration to the government in return for the benefits of no audit, no investigation, no challenge or pursuit of refunds or other penalties?
Again, Senator, I'm unable to comment because of litigation.
It's a very simple fact question. Was there or was there not consideration?
Again, there's ongoing litigation, and I suggest that you speak with the Treasury attorneys.
If this kind of behavior is okay with the chairman, I'll just pursue other questions. But, you know, what goes around comes around in terms of dodging questions.
I believe it's very clear that witnesses of any kind cannot discuss ongoing litigation.
They can certainly discuss a fact that they are aware of. Was there a defense analysis memo prepared by the IRS? And more specifically, did you see it?
Again, I'm not going to be able to comment on these matters.
Mr. Chairman, this just makes no sense at all. I've been a lawyer all my life. I have some idea of what is protected when you have a ongoing bit of litigation. Whether this individual has seen an official memo from within his own department is a very simple question to answer. And I think it's completely inappropriate to have this game of dodgem be pursued without any consequences.
Joining us now is Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a member of the Senate Finance Committee and the Senate Judiciary Committee. And Senator, it looks like you are going to have your work cut out for you in a Senate confirmation hearing of Todd Blanche. Will the Republicans on the Judiciary Committee try to protect him in the same way that Republicans tried to protect the Treasury Secretary today?
Expect so. They have a record, for instance, of protecting Pam Bondi when she brought her little insults list, of protecting Trump's thug Emil Bovee when they stuffed him onto the Third Circuit. The difference here is that Blanche has done some really bigly embarrassing stuff. The $1.8 billion slush fund and the Trump tax amnesty. Pam Bondi hung around his neck the catastrophic mismanagement of the Epstein files. There is presently a really unique investigation in Florida into whether Blanche committed fraud on the court as the acting attorney general. That is an allegation we've never heard before in the history of the country, and it's being investigated. So for a whole lot of reasons, this is going to be a really difficult thing as November approaches. And if you go down the Republican side, you've got John Cornyn, who just got backstabbed by Trump endorsing the impeached adulterer Paxton in Texas. Maybe Trump has a thing for impeached adulterers, but that didn't go over very well with Senator Cornyn. You go further down, and you've got Senator Tillis, who is a free agent and not putting up with a lot of Trump crap right now. You continue down the dais to Senator Moody, who is going to be in a very tough race in Florida against the very talented Alex Vindman, who your viewers will remember as a witness against Trump in the impeachment on the Ukraine deal. So that's just three who will face real personal risk here. So we've gone from the Trump thug moment where they all have to obediently obey to now what I call the Blazing Saddles moment. If you remember the scene in Blazing Saddles where the governor says, boys, it's time we started looking out for our own phony baloney jobs. So, you know, this Blanche nomination is so disgusting that it's really going to put them over a barrel. And to some extent, it's like wonderful for us. Great, bring it. Pulte, this preposterous person for DNI, and Blanche at the same time for, I mean, it's almost like Trump wants to take the party down with him now that he senses that his presidency is failing. He just keeps putting these horrible presentations, choices in front of his senators.
When you went down that list of Republicans on the Judiciary Committee and the possible questions they could raise, that looked bad enough, possibly, for Todd Blanche. Then when you go out in the Senate floor, if you get this out of the committee, you go out in the Senate floor, try to get a majority vote there. You got to get Susan Collins running in Maine to vote for this, running for re-election in Maine. You have to get Bill Cassidy to vote for this on the Senate floor. It's sounding as though this could be a nomination in serious trouble.
I think it starts in serious trouble. And given the general incompetence that the Trump White House has recently displayed, the likelihood that they did the basic due diligence of going down the roster of the Republicans on the Judiciary Committee to make sure they had at least those votes pinned down probably wasn't done. I would very much doubt that Tom Tillis has given his thumbs up to Blanche for Attorney General, or Cornyn, or Moody, or frankly, any of them, because this is a deeply, deeply embarrassing choice. An individual who has completely disgraced himself as acting attorney general and deputy attorney general. I mean, the department is in total disarray. The fraud on the court, the illegal U.S. attorney appointments, the unprecedented professional failures, the throwing out of indictments, the loss to the Department of Justice of its presumption of regularity. Those are extraordinary things. They've all happened under Blanche's watch. He owns that whole stinking mess.
Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, great to have you with us on this night with this breaking news that we did not know was happening, but we're really lucky to have you on the night that we got it. Thank you very much, Senator.
Good to be on.
We'll be right back.